Welcome, everyone. Before we get started with our caucus sheet, council members John Schmidt and Christine Hyam will present accommodation to Dontino's Family Restaurant on the occasion of their 50th anniversary.
Thank you, Madam President. We are very pleased and honored this evening to present this accommodation to Dontino's Italian Restaurant. Wonderful restaurant that we're all quite familiar with, I suspect. So, on Dontino's Family Restaurant 50th anniversary, whereas Dontino's Family Restaurant, located at 555 East Cog Falls Avenue in Akron, Ohio, has been owned and operated by Vincenzo Donatio and Anna Maltempi and their family since 1975. The pasta fagioli is his grandmother's recipe, and it is fantastic. I asked him, I said, where'd this recipe come from? He said, my grandmother. Surprised, it's that good. So, Dontino and Anna always loved to cook for their family, preparing meals in their home for their son Carlo and his many childhood friends while living in Akron's North Hill. They've spent many evenings entertaining friends and solving the world's problems over a plate of spaghetti, a glass of Chianti, and an espresso. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Whereas, since the restaurant's inception, Anna and Dontino brought all their old world traditions and recipes to the table, delighting all their patrons who came and tasted their authentic Southern Italian cuisine, whether it was spaghetti and meatballs, lasagna, veal parmigiano, or authentic pizza. The homemade sauces and pastas are all made with the same care and love Dontino and Anna made for their family. Dontino also kept what made La Vita's a North Hill favorite, the famous steak sandwich. He made sure that from the hamburger to the meatball sub, and from the veal cutlet sandwich to the chicken parm sandwich, anybody who was looking for a great sandwich would get what they wanted at Dontino's. But at the end of the day, Vincenzo and Anna knew that in keeping with tradition, all of their meals would be provided at a great value the whole family could enjoy, which is still true. And
whereas today's Dontino Ristorante keeps up this tradition with the help of Carlo's 5 children who are all dedicated to keeping their family's traditions part of North Hill for many generations to come. Frank and Anthony in particular, who decided to work in the family business full-time after graduating from Kent State University. The restaurant recently released their new house wine called Dontino's Black Label Sicilian Red. It's the perfect blend of Syrah, Cabernet, and family. Oh. Carlo, Vincenzo, and good friend Dino were featured on the original house wine label that was a blend of Cabernet, Nero, Diavola, and Petit Syrah.
okay, now, therefore, be it known by all and declared by the Council of the County of Summit, State of Ohio, that this council commends Dontino's Family Restaurant on 50 years and 3 generations of ownership and operation of a family business which has carried on a tradition in Akron's North Hill. We urge all citizens to join us in celebrating this milestone on this 18th day of August in the year 2025. Do you want to say a few words?
No, just thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Oh, come on,
And,
Anthony. This is the,
all right,
you're speechless? I don't believe it.
I'm still speechless at how you pronounce Netto d'Avola, but we'll talk about that
Hey,
later.
I'm part Italian.
No, it would be, although I'm accepting this award and I am 3rd generation running the business, it would be foolish for me to sit up here and take all of the credit. The restaurant is what it is today because of my grandparents and my parents who started the business. I am just along for the ride, helping them to continue on the legacy of the family business. And Akron has been absolutely incredible to my family. My grandparents, my parents, all immigrants to this country who came here with nothing and started a business that's lasted for 50 years. And that's in large part to their hard work, but also to the wonderful city that they chose to put their Italian restaurant in. So thank you to all of you, and I hope to see all of you guys very soon at the restaurant. Tonight's fine. I'm on my way there right now.
On Tuesday.
And we'll talk about the pronunciation, because if you want to go back to Sicily, you're going to have to work
I
on it.
know.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Didn't
Appreciate
see
it.
anything. All right.
Congratulations.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll see you.
And then, next, we're going to have Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Office of Finance and Budget. He's going to present a financial update to the council. Phil,
Thank-
you're on. Sorry.
You're fine. Thank you, Madam President. Right before the meeting, Mark handed out a couple of eye charts for you all to read. But just to go through, this is where we stand with the general fund through June 30th of 2025, so the first 2 quarters. Going through the numbers, the real estate tax is sitting right at 5.7% year over year, and what we end up looking at for December. So the first 3 sheets, the first schedule, is where I think we're going to end 2025. If you look at the left 2 columns, that's year to date through June of 24 and through June of 25. You see the year over year change percentage, and then the middle right-hand columns are where we finished 24 actuals and where I think or project we're going to end 25 through December. So property tax we think is going to end up at 5.7% over last year. Sales tax, while it's up a little bit from June to June, there's a little bit of a timing there in terms of when June sales tax was posted in 2024, so that's why it looks a little wonky. But we have flattened out. I've mentioned to council before that we were repaying a large refund that was issued by the Department of Taxation, which they don't provide us any information on. But even with that ending, we're still maintaining relative flat growth right now on sales tax. So I conservatively have us in at only a 0.5% finish over last year. Property transfer tax, that's one that's a little unknown right now. We're watching how it's trending, but right now I'm keeping it with where real estate is at 5.7%, even though we're a little up through the midway of the year. Next 2 I want to talk about are the defensive indigent and the public defender reimbursement. So you're going to see that the defensive indigent, so the attorney fees for private attorneys, is up 3.1%, but the public defender contract is up almost 75%. There's 2 reasons for both of those, and that is one, council in the 2025 budget approved a decent increase to the legal defender's office for Andrea Whitaker's operation. And then on the fee apps, we're starting to see some of those flip. So we've gotten rid of the paper system, we're on the online system, and plus the legal defender's office is taking on some of the felony work, which would lower the private attorney fees. So, and it's up significantly because the legal defender reimbursement rate for half of last year was at 78%, which is lower than it's been the last couple years, but still significantly higher than where it's been historically. But because of where the statewide reimbursement rates, where they actually bumped for January through April, they bumped the reimbursement rate up to 93%. So we shot back up, but now starting with the May reimbursements, which we just got in August, it's lowered back down to 82%. So still good news for us that the state continues to focus on helping fund counties on indigent defense, but it is still going to continue to fluctuate because it's a set amount in the biennium budget, and depending on how counties are requesting those reimbursements, they have to change the reimbursement rate throughout the year to make sure they hit that biennium number. Going down, we have the Akron jail growth at 2.5%. That's in the contract. We get reimbursed from Akron 2 quarters in arrears. So even though we're working on a new jail contract and a new animal control contract, like this is still where we're going to be in the collection for the remainder of this year. Auditor and treasurer fees also follow real estate, so I have those at 5.7%. The recorder's up a little bit at 7.4%, and you'll see that the clerk of courts is down 20% for this year. And I've met with Clerk Golonsky, and we've talked through some things, and there were some things that came out in the transition audit that kind of showed how fees are collected and have been historically. And so we had to do some repayments of credit card fees and FedEx fees for service between the general fund and her fund, and then there were some changes at the state that have inherently dropped what fees that they can collect. So I'm working closely with her office to make sure that we're keeping an eye on that, but not unexpected for us. The other one is investment earnings. I've been telling council every time I present on the finances that we're watching this closely, because as we move through with all those big dollar projects like the Board of Elections and redoing this building, and that's a lot of cash we're going to be pushing out the door. So as we do that, our investment earnings are going to tumble. Brian and I were talking about this last week. I think as we move forward into 2026, the two biggest risks we have are investment earnings and conveyance fees, or real estate transaction fees. So we're watching those closely. So you'll see that we're already trending down, sorry, for the rest of 2025. I want to look at, because of where we are with investment earnings, we have been, I think this is the last year that we have any investments that are at like 0 or 1%. So we've been buying as much as we can in the market to lock in for 3, 4, 5 years at the north of 4% rate. So we've built in kind of an off-ramp in our bond portfolio, but still our overnight accounts, the Star Ohio accounts that aren't going to have any cash in them, aren't going to be churning off additional investment earnings. So I want to smooth that out over the next few years. So I'm socking away a little bit of money to make sure we can ease into not having to rely on the investment earnings. Parking deck revenue is down year over year. Flipping to the second page, our indirect cost is up 9.3%. That is a cost allocation plan that is prepared by Maximus. I think they do like 80 of the 88 counties in Ohio. And this is based on actual expenditures from 2 years ago. So that number always fluctuates depending on actual expenditures from prior. So as you can see, I'm showing us ending general fund revenue at $172.9 million, a 1.5% increase over last year of 170.3. You always hear me talk about removing advances in. That is the repayment to the general fund of funds that were used to prop up other funds, so that they ended the year with a positive cash balance. So if we factor that out of the equation, we really are going to end at 171.6 million, or up 3.6% over last year. On the expenditure side, just a few things to point out. Salaries, I have up 10% over last year. There's several factors in terms of payouts that we've been doing and retirements and things like that. So we're factoring in those things. On the overtime, you can see we're down 26% from last year, but we're still $1.5 million over what we budgeted for overtime. So I've had a few conversations with the Sheriff's Department to keep an eye on what's going on with overtime and get that back in line. Healthcare is up 3.7%, which I'm working with our consultant NFP on that, because we had expected that to be a little bit higher. So we're trying to find the disconnect on the premium collections versus where we are with the revenue. We have the professional services, almost to the bottom of the page, you have professional services and the appointed attorney fees. If you see the June over June, you'll see the line that says 530,000 in 24 was 250,000, but in 25 it's 2.4 million. That's because there's an accounting recode that needs to be done to move that down to the attorney fee line. I'm working with fiscal to get that straightened out. So you'll see a couple lines below that under appointed attorney fee reimbursable. It was 4 million in June of 24, and it's only 2.2. That's because 2 million of the line above needs to be moved down. So I caught that on here. We'll get that straightened up. But you'll see on my December forecast, I've already fixed that. So I'm showing professional services up 5%, as well as appointed attorney fees up 5%. On the last page, nothing really to point out other than at the bottom line, I'm projecting that we're only going to have increased our expenditures on the general fund by 0.9% through all of this. And this will continue to be fluid as we go through. I will continue to update this forecast every month, and I'll be back to council in another quarter to go through the September numbers. The second handout here is just a summary of everything I just said. So we have the current year forecast for 2025 plus 4 years, so it goes out to 2029. You can see on here everything looks pretty good for 26 and 27, but we're going to have to start having some conversations in 28, 29. We'll obviously prepare before that, but this is just what does the projection look like if nothing changes and everything's business as usual. You're going to see we're going to start to have some deficit spending that we're going to have to address. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does council have any questions? Not? Thank you, Phil.
Thanks.
Did you want to say something, Brian? You look like you're...
Phil never gets any questions. I only got questioned all the time.
Okay, Bethany has a question.
Does that take into account the property tax litigation that we're proposing?
Yeah, so in 2026 tax year, 27 collection year, it's the next reappraisal cycle. And I think that normally would bring in 7 or 8%. I've put it in at 3% in this forecast, which would include the cap that is proposed in the chart. So this is at 3% for 2026.
I asked the same question.
Before we move on to the caucus sheet, Pasolette, if you want to come up and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I am in support of resolutions 2025-231, 232, and 233. I am in opposition to resolutions 225, 2025, and 2022, 222, and 225. And I am interested in Resolution 2025-218. I will give you my concerns in writing so that I am not an offense to anyone that may be listening and viewing, and we can have an open line of communication. And I will also give you the concerns that I receive from people in the community, as well from my being a preacher in the community and a community activist. So there may be some people you may be missing that come to me because I am a minister. And I am out there, and I will address my concerns, and I don't want to offend anybody. I want to thank you all for considering me. I am a success story, Mr. Schmidt.
Yes, you are.
Mr. Potter and Mr. Schmidt welcomed me when I first came here, and my German may be a little rusty, but ich liebe dich. I love you all very much. Yeah. Schmidt. Yeah. And I'm Irish and Native American through my dad. But I did German from elementary school through college, and I tutored in German, Spanish, and French in college. But I am standing here today because I am a success story from you all. Thank you for valuing my life. I ended up in Summit County living in my car because I reported abuse and lost everything. I would like to change this and the dynamics of this. So when I put my concerns in writing, good and bad, I ask that you would consider this, and I would ask that you would consider the Citizens Commission on Human Rights. Its spokesperson is Reverend Frederick Shaw Jr., and they're out of California. In some of the decisions for how all of your decisions affect women, whether they be mothers, whether they be single, whether they be married, divorced, or whatever. I don't believe that the legislation fully impacts how all these decisions, I believe we're still under a male rule because of religion and some other things, but I would ask that you would include, and his wife is over the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, so they could be a lot of good support, and I could give you their contact information that would help you on a local and state and a federal level on how your decisions are impacting everyone's life. And thank you once again for considering me. I'm still in my transition, Prosecutor Golansky, as you know, but we're going to make it through this too, and we're going to help everybody else that comes along the way. And thank you, Mr. Potter. You know you are the best. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you.
And assistant clerk. Thank you very much. You all have a blessed evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are 3 motions. We have Chief Scott Pascu will present counsel on M0372025. Is he in the audience? Okay. Would you like to come on up and introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Scott Pascu, Deputy Chief of the Akron Fire Department. My disciplines are operations, special operations, fire prevention, community services, recruitment, retention. Been with the department for 30 years and started my special operations career in 1997-ish. So been around it for a long time.
Well, thank you. Is there any questions? No? Thank you and welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thanks.
Did you see in Twinsburg where they rescued a baby this weekend, or this week?
I did not.
Yeah, a baby was trapped in a fire down in a basement.
I did not.
Yeah, the baby was 8 months old. So sad. Okay, moving on. We have, there are 13 first readings. There are 3 first reading passage requests. 2025-224. Heidi Swindell is here to address council. Hi, Heidi.
Hello. Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineer's Office. We receive a minimum allocation through the Ohio Public Works Commission. Even though we automatically get it, we still have to go through the application process. So this is the authorizing legislation for that. We've been using this between $350,000 to $400,000 a year for tiny resurfacing parts of Boston Mills Road. So this will be phase 4 of Boston Mills Road. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is there any questions? Thanks, Heidi.
Thank you.
2025-225. There is Alex Burt is here to address council. Hi, Alex.
Hi, how is
Good.
everyone? Alex Burt, Staff Attorney for the Department of Public Safety. This is a contract with Oriana House for Community Corrections Services. We receive a grant from the state of Ohio through ODRC for the Community Corrections Act 2.0 grant program. So Oriana House is actually written into the application for that, and this is flat funding from our last 2-year cycle from ODRC on this very same grant, and so the contract amount remains flat with them as well.
Is there any questions? Thank you, Alex.
Sure.
Next week, Bill, we have 2025-226, Bill Montgomery to address council.
Thank you, Madam President. Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget. We have before us this cycle is appropriation legislation for council. The first item is an adjusting entry. We are working through separating, I mentioned on our healthcare and premium collections. We have the county provided portion that we pay on employee health care, but then we have all of the voluntary benefits like dental and vision and some of the long-term disability insurance and things like that. And we created those are pass-through expenses that we have a contract with the provider and then the employee pays through their premiums. So we've set up a separate withholding account for that to get those pass-through dollars out of our core employee benefit dollars so we can better see on a month-to-month basis where our cash collections are versus our claims. I mean, I don't know if council is aware, you are, in being self-insured, we pay anywhere from $700,000 to $2 million a week on healthcare claims. And so we're trying to make sure that we're, have a close eye on it every month, every week when we're running these reports. So this will help with that. The next item is an increase in appropriation for miscellaneous expenditures that we expect before the end of the year. The next line item is a grant for the Board of Elections to reimburse certain expenditures from the May special election of this year. So we have to appropriate them and move the expenses over there to use those dollars. On the next page, we have a correction appropriation for DD. This is that system glitch thing about how they use their coding that we have to add back for prior year encumbrances. The next 8 items are new grants for the juvenile court. And then the last item on the last page is an increase in appropriation from the sheriff's ESAC funds. They have plenty of cash in that fund and expect to spend a little bit of money this year. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? Mr. Wellhite?
Between 700 and 2 million. It's a little north of 70 million a year. Yeah, every Monday. Yeah, it's all the real experience. As the claims come in, we get a report every month that tells us who our high claimants are. And, when we have a heart replacement and premature babies, and those can get expensive.
there any further questions? Thanks, Lou. We have routine legislation found on pages 5 through 9. There are 2 second readings. There are no third readings. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilwoman Erin Dickinson, followed by a moment of silence. Roll call.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Ms. Hyam,
Here.
Mr. Donofrio, Mr. Cajun, Ms. Dickinson,
Here.
Mr. Ford,
Here.
Mr. Wilhite,
Here.
Ms. Darrow,
Here.
Mr. Lacotte,
Here.
Ms. McKinney,
Here.
Ms. Walters.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve August 4th, 2025 minutes? I have a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motions for council. M35, 2025. A motion of council confirming the reappointment of Jen DeRilio to the Humane Commission.
I have a motion on M0352025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M36, 2025. A motion of council confirming the reappointments of Fire Chief George Seifert, James Evans, John Reyes, Kevin Kinbaum, and Susan Allen to the Building Standard Board of Appeals.
I have a motion on M0362025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M37, 2025, a motion of council confirming the appointment of Deputy Chief Scott Paskew, replacing District Chief Joseph Shoemaker, to the Special Operations Response Team Executive Board.
I have a motion on M0372025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
First readings, 2025-224, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute an Ohio Public Works Commission grant application and any other documents necessary to apply for and accept local transportation improvement program grant funds in the amount of $385,000 for Phase 4 of the resurfacing of Boston Mills Road from the end of Boston Mills Road Phase 3 westward, approximately 2,500 feet, located in Boston Township and Council District 1, with no local cash match for the executive and engineer emergency.
Madam President, I move that we suspend the rules and adopt 2025-224.
I have a motion to suspend and adopt 2025-224 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-225, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Oriana House Incorporated as a best practical source for community correction services for the period July 1, 25 through June 30, 27, in an amount not to exceed $2,691,940 for the Executive's Department of Public Safety emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-225.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-225 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-226, a resolution appropriating funds in order to meet projected expenditures for the balance of 2025 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-226.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-226 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-227, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Abel Racon Limited Liability Company under Ohio Department of Transportation purchase pricing for the Towpath Park Drainage Pipe Lining Project located in Sagamore Hills Township and Council District 1 in an amount not to exceed $218,801.49 for the engineer emergency. 2025-228, a resolution authorizing the executive to enter into an agreement for the acquisition of standard highway easements over a portion of partial number 5000003 located in the village of Richfield in Council District 1 in a total amount not to exceed $600 as part of the Brecksville Road Bridge Replacement Project for the engineer emergency. 2025-229, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute intergovernmental agreements with Summit County municipalities for animal control services provided by the Division of Animal Control for a 5-year term for the period of September 1, 2025 to August 31, 30, with an option to renew for an additional 5-year term for the Executive's Department of Public Safety and Sheriff Emergency. 2025-230, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of Change Order Number 1 to a professional service agreement with Rutzel and Andrus Limited Partnership Agreement in an amount not to exceed $125,000 for a cumulative increase of 100% for a total amount not to exceed $250,000 toward the cost of continued legal representation and services on behalf of the county in the matter of Antonia Williamson versus Sheriff Candy Fothery and others for the executive and the sheriff emergency. 2025-231, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of professional service contracts with various providers for state fiscal year 2026 utilizing temporary assistance to needy families, Benefit Bridge, State General Revenue Fund, and Food Assistance Employment and Training Funds from October 1, 25 through September 30, 26, and a total amount not to exceed $5,569,000 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services Emergency. 2025-232, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a sub-award agreement with Direction Home, Akron-Canton Area Agency on Aging and Disabilities to continue the provision of additional services to Summit County residents to assist older adults with aging in place from September 1, 25 through December 31, 25, at an amount not to exceed $673,304.89 for the executive emergency. 2025-233, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with United Way of Summit and Medina as a best practical source to provide adult protective services, after-hours call response and 211 information and referral line services to assist low-income families in assessing nonprofit and government services to meet basic needs for the period October 1, 25 through September 30, 26, in an amount not to exceed $130,000 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services Emergency. 2025-234, a resolution authorizing the Executive to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the Summit County Combined General Health District doing business as Summit County Public Health to increase utilization of health check, early periodic screening, diagnostic, and testing services for young children for a 1-year term from October 1, 25 to September 30, 26, and in an amount not to exceed $120,000 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services Emergency. 2025-235, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Comdoc A. Xerox Company under Equalis Group Public Cooperative Purchasing Association pricing for a Versant 280 press copier in an amount not to exceed $131,943, utilizing the internal lease fund for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget Office Services Emergency. 2025-236, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Advice X Technologies Limited Liability Company as a best practical source for VMware licensing, updates, and software vendor support for vSphere Server for virtualization data centers for a 4-year term for the period of July 31, 25 to July 30, 29, for a total amount not to exceed $237,968.08 for the Office of Information Technology Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt the routine agenda found on pages 5 through 9.
I have a motion to suspend and adopt the routine legislation found on pages 5 through 9. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second readings, 2025-220. Mr. Wilhite, I'll need you to amend what's on the purple sheet, sir. Yeah, I need you to amend it first, and then I'll read it in. Thank you, sir.
Motion to amend 2025-220.
I have a motion to amend Resolution 2025-220. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
An amended resolution authorizing the executive to execute aggregate change order number 1 to increase the purchase aggregate total for non-emergency medical transportation services for federal fiscal year 2025 for various vendors as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services emergency. Yes, sir.
We have amended resolution before us. All those in favor of suspending the rules and adopting it on suspension, please signify by saying aye.
Hold it.
No.
You just-
We have to do them both.
No, you just suspend the rules and adopt, and then I'll read them in.
Chair, I'd like to suspend the rules and adopt the amended version of 2025-220.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-220. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-223, a resolution designating Fifth Third Bank National Association, Huntington National Bank, J.P. Morgan Chase Bank National Association, KeyBank National Association, PNC Bank National Association, Portage Community Bank, U.S. Bank National Association, and Westfield Bank Federal Savings Bank as depositories of active monies of the county for the period September 1, 25 through August 31, 29, and authorizing the executive to execute agreements with those financial institutions for the fiscal officer emergency.
Madam President, move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-223.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-223. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Before we go, is there any further business before the council? Oh, Mr. Wilhite?
Question on the move. Are we still on track?
Yes, I was gonna make sure I made an announcement on that. I kind of grabbed this. I seen a cheat sheet out there, so just a friendly reminder to everyone that the Ohio building relocation, we will be relocating for renovations. We will be going to, let me find the address here, 10050 East Talmadge Avenue, Akron. I think our last meeting here is going to be held August 25th, 2025 will be here. And then our very first council meeting will be September 8th, correct? And just a friendly reminder, I'm going to kind of say that. Hopefully somebody will say it next week, too. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.